What's the fundamental idea that we need to grasp about Chanuka? Chanuka came at a time in history that was a critical watershed, and this is the crucial thing to understand. Until Chanuka, the world was alive with spiritual wisdom, spiritual knowledge. We call that the generation of revelation. Gilui Panim, if you like. Chanuka signals the end of the phase of light, where we move into the phase of darkness. And that's why we light a small candle in our window to light the darkness of winter. In a bit more depth, the process is that until just a short time before Chanuka, Purim, things were revealed in the world. Miracles took place and prophets spoke. Just like we express ourselves in two ways. We speak and we act. Hashem expresses himself openly in the world in two ways. He speaks, that's what we call Nevuah, prophecy, and he acts, that's what we call miracles. The Ralbag points out that every single miracle that occurred in Tanakh required the presence of a prophet. Prophecy was the era, if you like, of revelation. From the creation of the world until Purim, 2,350 years ago, things were alive and light. Purim had its own prophets, even though the Megillah of Purim signifies a beginning of movement into darkness. After all, the Megillah does not mention Hashem's name. There's no open miracles. The miracle is hidden. Purim means the luck of the draw. And 150 years later, Chanuka, nothing at all. Nothing. No prophecy, no open miracles, except for the lights, except for the candles that burnt for 8 days miraculously. That was a last wave goodbye, if you like, from the phase of miracles. So Jewish history fits into two phases. Phase one, revelation, everything is clear. Nothing could be clearer than prophecy. That is the phase in which we charge the battery, so to speak. We gain the energy, we store the energy that we need. And then between Purim and Chanuka, the lights fade, and by the time Chanuka comes along, there's no more revelation at all. We now move into the phase that we call the oral law, Torah Sheba'al Peh. In Rav Hutner's classic phrasing, Chanuka is the Yom Tov of Torah Sheba'al Peh, the festival of the oral law. Until then, we receive Torah. The work is to be great enough to hear it and to see it. Prophets called the Choseh, sees clearly. And then the light fades gradually until Chanuka. From then on, we see nothing, unless we light the lights ourselves. And that's life. Life has phase one, which is brilliant in its clarity. Everything's given for free, so to speak. That's your opportunity to charge the batteries. But life doesn't last that way. It doesn't continue that way. Eventually, the lights fade. And in the darkness, the only light that shines is the one that you shine. We move after Chanuka into thousands of years of darkness, where we create Torah. First phase of history, we receive Torah. That charges the batteries. Second phase of history, we have to create it ourselves. That's Torah Sheba'al Peh. And therefore, Chanuka is the time when we start making our own decisions and creating our own Torah. Think about it this way. What was the first rabbinic decision ever made with no reference to prophecy? The decision at Chanuka time. Matityahu, the great leader, said to the Jewish people, I've made a decision. Rabbi, what's your decision? We declare war on the Greek Empire. Rabbi, you and whose army? Well, there's me and my sons and a few friends. You know, there's about 13 of us. Rabbi, did you ask the prophet? No prophets anymore. Did you consult the Urim Batumim in the temple? We don't have those anymore. Rabbi, what gives you the feeling that this is the right decision? I think this is the right thing to do. That's called Das Torah. And not only that, they won. That is an amazing transition from prophetic clarity to a world of darkness. And therefore, when you light those small lights in your window, in the depth of winter, in the depth of an exile that has lasted for millennia, the message is, what you're shining out into the world is the creative genius of the Jewish people. Not the spirituality of being able to receive a light that's given from above. That's over. Now we're in the millennia of having to make it ourselves. We create Torah, we take the original sources, we derive from them, we delve into them, and we shine a light into the darkness. And what's great about that light is, it's in one way greater than the first light. The first light was brilliant in its clarity, but it did not last. The second light will take us all the way through to Mashiach. And therefore, this last of all miracles is the one that we need to take with us through the darkness. And as we move through that darkness, we remember that light.